and since I'm going to a wedding this week, I thought I'd revisit one of my favorite films in recent years, Alexander Payne's Sideways. Middle school English teacher, unsuccessful novel writer, and wine aficionado Miles Raymond, played by Paul Giamatti, is taking his soon-to-be-married friend and delusional actor Jack Cole, played by Thomas Haden Church, on a road trip for a whole week of wine tasting and golfing. At least that's what Miles wants. Jack wants to get laid one last time as a bachelor before tying down permanently. Going through a midlife crisis of disappointing past decisions and questionable futures, Miles and Jack connect with two women, a waitress named Maya, played by Virginia Madsen, and an employee at a local winery, Stephanie, played by Sandra Oh. With a grasp on their own mortality, the two men embrace their adolescence and learn more about themselves and what they want. Payne's film is a perfect example of balance, finding humor in dark pathos or vice versa. It's charming, sad, funny, and even moving, but not in an obvious way. Payne isn't a filmmaker who brings attention to himself through visual choices, and yet it's all in the details when it comes to him. The wineries within the California landscape, the various rest stops and restaurants, to even the performances from the main actors to the supporting ones, and even the extras are all note perfect. It creates a level of authenticity, allowing at times for more outrageous bits of humor that, interestingly enough, don't ring false. The film has such a unique and unconventional cast. Church, mostly known for his work on the show Wings, is absolutely hilarious here. He's more often than not selfish, dumb, and though he doesn't show it, scared shitless of the upcoming wedding. His acting career hasn't gone as well as he probably hoped, but he isn't going to let anyone see that. With his vulgar desire to have one last sexual fling, and his lack of knowledge for pretentious wine snobbery, it's understandable why he's friends with Miles, even if the aging pretty boy and whiny mope are very different. Miles at the very least is patient and won't give up on Jack, as Jack won't give up on Miles. In return, Jack is supportive. The dope may have never read Miles' unpublished book, but he knows Miles has talent, and though he rather drink than discuss wine, he admires Miles' intellect in an age where Jack doesn't have much to show for his life. Their friendship is no more baffling than how a beautiful aging woman like Maya, played by Madsen, would be interested in a schlub like Miles. In some films this would seem inappropriately Hollywood, but it isn't here. It's difficult to explain why different people gravitate towards one another as friends or as loving partners. People are a subject of time. Madsen gives enough vague clues to her past relationships, showing why Miles, perhaps not the best-looking guy and certainly not the most positive, would be a perfect match for her. One particular scene involves the two discussing wine, but they're more or less discussing themselves, with each falling in love with one another. Miles requires constant care and attention for a fulfilling relationship, while Maya could more or less be a fine line that peaked. She isn't looking for all things superficial. She wants someone who needs her. Speaking of older women, Oh, who was Payne's wife at the time, is great as Stephanie, a biker chick with a younger daughter. Stephanie falling in love with Jack as a potential bedmate could arguably see Jack as a father figure to her daughter. Yes, Jack can deceptively lay something on a bit thick. Despite the strong performances, this is Giamatti's movie. While Madsen and Church received nominations in their supportive categories, Giamatti, one of our finest character actors, was shockingly snubbed. A recent divorcee, Miles is the perfect hero of the story. We're happy when he succeeds, though it rarely ever happens, and we're equally bummed when he chokes, such as a hand-to-hand interaction with Maya. He tries to make up for it, but the moment is understandably past. Oh, and if you're immediately turned off by a movie in which the main character, tight on money, takes some cash from his mother, followed by a mirror shot of regret and guilt, this might not be for you. Non-violent but vulnerable, Wine brings out the funniest but most painful moments, such as where Miles, as Jack would put it, drinks and dials his ex-wife, who is apparently getting remarried. His second encounter with her is nicely handled with maturity, genuine happiness, but of course envy as well. To be fair, the film does run a little bit too long, and it tends to be a bit repetitive, but the last 10 minutes of this flick, accompanied with a piano score by Rolf Kent, are perfect. From an abbreviated hug between two friends that speaks volumes about friendship, to a road trip on a rainy day with an unexpected voicemail, Sideways becomes too charming and infectious not to enjoy. That's it for the movie rewind. Have a good day, folks. Until next time.